Hello, my friends, Bonus here, and today's topic is how to start up a casino in online sphere. So, this video is for those who wanted to try to maybe have an online casino of their own, and it boils down to answering several key questions. So, which online casino platform to choose? What are those platforms about? So what you have to expect from them? What kind of platforms there are out there? What to do? How to do with licensing, with company setting, and so on. What kind of team you must have to be able to operate an online casino? And finally, what is the budget that you might want to dedicate to running this online casino? So these are the biggest questions that every one of you may ask when thinking about starting an online casino. So first of all, I want to commence with an idea that starting an online casino is a kind of venture business. So this is a business of young entrepreneurs, of newcomers still. It has changed a lot recently, but still this is a business where lots of new brands, lots of startups are coming in every day. So it's a kind of new business, and those who want to try the water, try to make a new venture enterprise. These are a good way to start. So what we want to start with is discussing the two principal roads that you may take here. First road is by having your white label casino, and the second one is by acquiring a turnkey solution. So what is the difference between white label casino and turnkey solution, and what it's all about? So in the back days, you may want, if you want to start a casino, you may have lots of developers sitting here and there, and then they would have this back end and front end to put together. They want to integrate the games, each game provider separately into your platform. They also want to develop payment gateway to the providers and everything. So it would take normally like 9-12 months to start with, and it would normally require up to 12, maybe 15 people for a smaller production. So it's a kind of big money to start with, and also you must be able to understand the development process. Now it's not the case, so you may want to go with a ready out of the box solution that has been already built, and you want to only rent it in exchange for paying a royalty fee, and it makes life much more easier. So the two things that I'm going to be discussing, white label and turnkey solutions, are both the same in terms that they are ready solutions. So the principal difference between that is that white K goes like this. You not only are being able to have this code and all the models that you need, but also you may want to have a license, a company, a payment company. This is a merchant account, and also the agreement with providers of content, everything together in one place. So this is a kind of business that comes out of the box. You just unbox it and start going. Obviously it goes for a fee, and it's quite considerable, but it's an easy solution to start with. The turnkey solution, by contrast, requires that you would have a company of your own already established. You also would apply by yourself to get the license that you need, and you want to make all the contracts with merchant, you want to set your merchant accounts with payment providers by yourself. Also, you may want to either make contracts with games provider or aggregate them all together. So the principal difference is that here you don't have to acquire a license and may operate under the license of under master license of a provider of this white label solution, and there you have to do it yourself. What is the practical difference? Why we talk about it is the difference is that actually there's a, except for money, obviously white hat solution is much more expensive, or in the end of the day you get several risks because there's a risk of bankruptcy, obvious risk of bankruptcy on the part of provider. So it means that you, if you operate under white hat license, you actually have a sub-license, you use the same company, the same merchant account and everything. So you don't even exist, you stay in the shadow, you don't even exist as a separate business entity. So in case something happens with your master license provider and the overall platform provider, means you are down also. This is the first thing. The second thing is that something may happen with not to the whole business, but to the part of the business, I mean to the license. For example, if by means of misconduct or something, I don't know, the license would be revoked from your master, from the platform provider, you will also be at risk. There's also a risk of failure of major merchant accounts. So something may happen between, I don't know, MasterCard, Visa, and the platform, and you'll be involved also, even though you're not you're not part of the problem, you know. So it means either you know whether you're not independent or you go by under the umbrella of a bigger one, and then obviously share some risks with it. So let's say it again. So the white label solution means that a company, a license, the contract with game or content providers, as well as merchant account, is provided by you or rented by you by the whole solution provider. In the turnkey business, on the turnkey casino platforms, are such that you may have legal support, but you have to do all the things yourself. I mean, setting up a company, acquiring merchant accounts, and also applying and getting the license. And what you get is only the software or a number of models to get you going with this, with onboarding players and making them, enabling them play games. So this is the two core difference. So let's now discuss what's actually included in every casino platform. So if you would search the Google for terms like online casino platforms or online casino solution providers or white hat or I mean white label casino or turnkey casino providers, so you find yourself in the middle of probably 20-30 providers that call themselves platform. What is actually a platform? It means that in the end of the day you will have a number of models that refer to different activities of yours that you can have all together or you can have separately. So the platform is actually every platform, be it white label or turnkey solution or customized or on-demand platform, it actually involves the core services or softwares that relates to casino operation, which means account management or people account management. This is anti-fraud. This is the game management or the pool of games that are available to your players. Means also includes the front end, so how to the services for you to be able to change the layout of your casino or to supply your own design. Also, the wallets, how to work with wallets, the payment wallets, the components that relate to business intelligence as well as customer management system, CRM, CMS. So actually, this is what pertains to the group of the core of services that relates to casino platform. Most important is the player account management, front end, back end, business intelligence, wallets, and payments providers integration, as well as CRM, CMS. Another core is the game platform that you have here. So game platform is a separate one. It means that the platform provider would aggregate the number of games that would add them more and more every week. I would tend to maintain them in good quality, to update them, make sure they all work correctly, they all are audited for real number generator statistics, that all have other terms of audit and controls that required for getting a license, everything in place. So it means that you have an access to the pool of providers of content that are necessary for your future players to be able to entertain themselves. This is the second core. You can have it separately or together. Obviously, there also such thing as bonus management models. So it means that you might be able to attach bonuses of different kinds, of like free spin bonuses to whatever games you like. You may have different types of bonuses, welcome bonuses, reload bonuses, match deposit bonuses, all kind of several multi-tier bonuses of all kind of loyalty promotions and so on and so on. So the more elaborate platform is, the more options are there to work with your players in terms of making them giving away bonuses to them. So this is the bonus part, and finally there might be affiliate marketing management part. So most of the time we will include third-party software of different providers that you have on board for you. Once you subscribe for this platform, you can obviously build your affiliate program in order to attract traffic and make your and get this traffic turned into players for your casino. So as we discussed, like in simplest terms, every casino platform, be it white label, turnkey, on demand, everything, includes a group of models that would respond to the key or core objective of your business. This is a casino related models, games related models, bonuses, and affiliate management. The most important models are player account management, business analytics, CMS, or the way you work with the player's data. This is front end, how you're able to change that out, everything. And also the game management and bonuses. This is the most important thing. So depending on the level of elaboration of the platform, you have more or less of this stuff here. So these are the substance or the cores of your solution that you would buy to start your casino. So what are the advantages of white label solution as compared to turnkey, and what do you require to make this choice? So obviously white label solution is a faster time to money. So you pay something upfront. I will cover the fees, everything in detail later on. But now I must say that you just pay a little more, or more, but you get to money presumably faster if you don't waste your time. So it means you don't have to hustle with development as before. You may take all those solutions in a pack, and you don't have to wait for licensing bodies. So you don't have to wait for 12 or 15 weeks to get your application approved and you get your license. You don't have to set up a company and so on and so on. So these are faster time. These are implication of faster time to money. Also, another thing that the white label casinos provide is that this is a minimum requirement for development on your part. So if you're an investor, you want to start a casino to only make money, you don't have much expertise in development yourself. So it's a good way to start because you don't have to employ those developers and spend money for this. So you can take away, you can use or profit from the library of custom templates, or if you want, you can obviously demand or have the platform provider make yourself something specific. The third point is that you rely on the existing integrations of the white label providers. So it means that you don't have to do the business relations from zero. Everything you'll be supplied in place. So every game provider is that's on the portfolio of a white label solution provider is yours. So you're staying comfortable with your time and with you don't have to employ many people to do this integration and so on. And also, you obviously have certain cost savings on IT infrastructure and so on and so on, because everything is hosted and maintained by the platform provider himself or herself. So this is 4 arguments: time to money, web development costs, the time you save on integrations, and time and money you save on running your IT infrastructure. These are 4 arguments in favor of white label casinos, which means that these are good solution if you're starting up and you don't have much time, money, and expertise in development. Okay, so let's move closer to the licenses. So what is about licenses? So why a white label are so ubiquitous now? Why are so popular? Because actually license is a very important part here, because apart from time that you must dedicate to applying for a license and getting it done, there are certain things that you have to have an expertise to really understand. So starting from the silly question, why actually you need a license to run a casino? So apart from all the talks that you can find on the internet, license is necessary for 2 things. First is to have a merchant account. So you can never have a merchant account with Netel, Skrill, Ideal, Visa, every reputable provider if you don't have a license for running a casino business. So you simply cannot use payments like this if you don't have a license. The second idea is that licenses are necessary for in order to be able to have vendors of software of casino software. So if you want to have games on a casino, you will only be able to make a contract with the games provider if you have at least any license. So what is the landscape of licenses here on the global scale? So this is obviously a whole different question, but most of the time when you're only starting up a casino, you would make a choice between a Curacao gambling license and a Malta gambling license. For the sake of interest, I would also add Isle of Man license. This is a territory that belongs to Great Britain and is situated in the English Channel between England and France. So actually, the biggest one is Curacao and Malta. So the idea of licensing online casino market has started up probably with Isle of Man license in 2001. It's more than 20 years ago, and the idea was simple: is just to be able to audit and to measure the fairness of game providers and the casino software. So as simple as it. So if you have at least any license, someone would monitor how your infrastructure works, what kind of games do you supply, do you provide for your players, and do these games have certificates audited for being random, being dependent on a random number generator. This is all. So after that, licenses were getting more complicated, but this is the core of their services. What has added is dispute resolution things, is anti-money laundering, and so on and so on. So what's important for now? In order to answer a question whether or not you want a license, when you want to go for white hat solution, or you want to elect specific kind of license, you want to answer yourself 4 questions. First is the cost of license itself. Second is taxation and cost of doing business. There's also an issue of easiness of registration, and finally regulatory scrutiny and the issues of compliance. So first of all is that licenses come first, the company comes second. Because if you would apply for a license in Curacao, obviously you must incorporate a company in Curacao and also host IT infrastructure in Curacao. It's not vice versa. So company goes after license. So what about the cost of license? The overall idea of how to make decision where to be incorporated has 2 blocks of questions. First is that I was saying cost of license, cost of running a business, some implications of regulations, and so on. And another block, which is probably more important, is what you can do with this license. So actually, every license has its limitations development. It's not universal. So notwithstanding the fact what kind of license you have, you cannot target the whole world, obviously, because some countries would restrict gambling, for example, like France or I don't know, Afghanistan, United States, or different kinds like Spain. They would restrict the gambling, and they would only allow, for example, state monopolies to run lotteries and so on, run the land-based casinos and so on, like in Switzerland, in Monaco, and everything. Some countries from this list and all over the Europe would allow gambling by those companies that have a specific national license. And obviously these are not Curacao, Malta, or any other license. So the game is changing every time, but just in general, on a general image, you may say that if you want to target European players, you might be interested in Malta license. You want to target rest of the world countries, the Curacao license is for you. You may obviously target European customers, European players with a Curacao license, but there will be certain implications for you in case, for example, when a country like Netherlands would expressly prohibit and you would take players from Netherlands with a Curacao license, you may fall under the jurisdiction of Netherlands, which means that you will be imposed a fine and you must pay it, because Curacao is a overseas territory of Netherlands. The same concerns with the United States and several other countries. Some countries would give you a fine, give you fines. Some countries would restrict your casino from operation by banning it and so on and so on. So obviously this is a question of a whole different discussion, but if you're setting up a new casino, it's necessary to settle for a license or to take it as a from white-hat operator. So let's make a quick comparison of license in terms of the options they give, and the costs and implications of company incorporation. So first, Curacao. Every license has an application fee, license fee. They may have compliance duty and audit and other preparatory fees. So application fee is something that you pay one time for setting up for submitting your fichier, your dossier, your documents. All right, so for example, in Curacao, this application fee is 2.5 thousand euros. In Malta is 5,000 euros. In Isle of Man, something like this, is in pounds. So you see the numbers. The license fee is yearly, so is taken yearly. So in Curacao, before the recent changes, I would not discuss recent changes in Malta legislation, because you still have 1 year of transition period, and they will take effect in 24, in the year 24. But still now, the license fee is $10,000 or euros per a year, and this is probably one of the cheapest one. This is Curacao, renewable every year. In Malta, your applicable type of license will cost 25,000, and in Isle of Man is 35,000 pounds. So 10, 25, 35. Also, the compliance duty. Compliance means that you have to take a portion of your GGR of the overall sales and give to a regulator in order to ensure compliance. Means be able to analyze your activity and be able to allocate this money to prevent and so on and so on. So in Malta, a compliance fee is about 1.25% of your GGR, but of your gaming revenue, of your sales, but no less than 30,000, like this, no less than 30,000, and it's another addition to your to your costs. In Curacao, there is no compliance duty. The same concerns Isle of Man. And audits fee. So Malta may require audits fee for a cost of 2.5 thousand euro, which is not the case with Curacao and Isle of Man, which is all inclusive. The fee is all inclusive. So on the face of it, we see that Malta is one of the most expensive one. Probably all your expenses, which like upfront, you would pay something about 35,000 euros, which is the same for Isle of Man, and maybe twice as low in the case of Curacao. So now, so much being said for the cost of running, the cost of licenses. Now let's take a look at taxation. So taxation is also important because it concerns the money that you will be making. In case of Curacao, you have this. So we are talking about corporate tax. We are talking about personal revenue taxation, and so on. So in Malta, you will have you might expect final 5% taxation fee, or which is applicable if you have a holding company in Malta and you would distribute your revenues to the to the people who are not citizens of Malta. So it means that in the end of the day you will pay 5%, notwithstanding the fact that the normal corporate tax in Malta is 35%. In Curacao, it's even less. You have to pay 2% person tax on net gains, which means the tax on income, 2% tax. And in Gibraltar, I mean in Isle of Man, you don't even have to pay it like this. There's also a kind of tax on income, but it's quite low depending on your sales, from 0.15 to 1% of your income. What's again necessary to know is that Malta has VAT of 18%, something like this, and Curacao doesn't have VAT whatsoever. So VAT, if you look at Curacao, you don't have VAT. VAT is imposed in Malta if you have transactions with other European companies. In the Isle of Man, it's a bit of a problem because you don't have to. So it means the Great Britain is not in the EU anymore. So now, that's probably all for the taxation. So we obviously see that Curacao is the most cheapest one, and Malta and Isle of Man are more expensive, coming close to 35,000 of setup in setup payments. And also in Malta there's a requirement for setting up a company, because in case of gambling you have to set up a company and pay shareholder capital of an amount of 100,000 euros. So you have to allocate 100,000 euro in a separate account paid, and then you cannot use it as a share capital that can be distributed to shareholders after the company is closed down. But obviously it can be used in the case of bankruptcy and so on. So this important note is that only a shareholding companies can own casino, and you have to pay this share capital of the amount of 100,000 euros. All right, so the ease of registration. Obviously, Curacao is very easy to run business, to obtain a license. Isle of Man is also good. Malta, maybe a little more time consuming. So ease of registration, it means that you must allow for at least 12 weeks to start and finalize this process, and you must also allow for legal fees of the company that would advise you to do so. So regulatory scrutiny and compliance. The final thing to understand is that the best thing to do if you're not really wanna be the white as a snow, yeah, it goes for Curacao, because Curacao has a somewhat lower level of compliance. It will be changing obviously, but Malta more or less the same. Nevertheless, they are in the European Union. They are not really hard on things like banking requirements, on know your customers, on knowing your past life, what you do, where from do you have money, and so on. Isle of Man is more upscale, so you have to be more. So it's probably not the first choice if you're just starting up. All right. So now now that we have discussed these things for a license, let's give a couple of words what you can do with this license. Actually, Isle of Man license is the best in terms you can target every geography on Earth except for United States. Even you can even target the United Kingdom because this license is, so you have to only check if this country, specific country, does not prohibit gambling. Like, so this is a universal one. For Malta, as in terms of Malta license, basically it's more or less the same, but Malta have the black label, a list of countries where you must not go hunting for players. Whereas Isle of Man doesn't have any list, so you can target any country that's your thing, but you have to make sure that they do not actually prohibit. In terms of Malta, they have this list and you have to comply. In terms of Curacao, they also have this list, but it's the smaller, much more small list, and the burden is on your side, so you have to make sure yourself that you don't, that you comply, that you don't break the legislation, the local legislation. But ultimately, this is the question of games also, of game providers also, because when you're would aggregate the games or would have the games from your platform solution, they would have the licenses also. It means that you would, if you would have a player coming from France, for example, it means that most of the slot providers would not allow, would geodetect him or her, would not allow play their games. So it means that actually there are two checkpoints. First on your side, on the side of license holder, and the second on the side of game provider. Okay, so now that we understand that there are white label solution, turnkey solutions, in case you wanna pick either of them, you have to still decide which license do you want to have. Is it Curacao, Malta, or probably Isle of Man or Gibraltar, many other things, but I recommend only making choices between these three: Curacao, Malta, and Isle of Man. Okay, so in either of this case, you have to pick a license and go for platform solution in order to set up quickly. It will be much more quick than you will do all the thing yourself. All right, so then let's talk about team requirements. So what kind of team do you need to set up casino? So basically it's not much. I have a special video dedicated to making to setting up a marketing function for online casino. You can have, I will give a link here, you can have a look. But in terms of this first team to go with, is you have to have a director, you have to have a CRM, player account management specialist. This is a person who would analyze things. It would start off campaigns, would try to activate or reactivate your players. And also the third person that's absolutely necessary is anti-fraud specialist, a person who would try to detect fraud, or would try to, is not actually detecting fraud, himself or herself. It means they would need to see the signs of the platform itself and react accordingly. It's not that hard. So 3 persons minimum you have to start a casino: director, analyst or CRM specialist, and anti-fraud official. So these are things you want to have. Probably it may, you may outsource these people also. It doesn't, except for directly, does they make a big problem. So let's go down to the budget also. So budget, If you would decide between a white label and turnkey casino, you would have to understand that in either case you will have sign-up budget. So sign-up budget is something that you have to pay upfront before you go into operation. So in case of white label casino, the sign-up budget will start from something about 15-20,000 euro to 50,000 euro, depending on what depending on the fact what license do you want to have. So it may be close to 15-20 in case of Curacao, and closer to 50,000 euro in case of Malta or Isle of Man. So these are sign-up fee. You want to give it up front. Also, you have to pay royalty fee for the exploitation, for the usage of this casino platform, game platform, everything in one place. So the royalty fee is a painful idea. This is a painful thing because you have to give away a portion of your revenue, of your sales, to the platform in exchange for the for the abilities that it provides. In case of the white label, it probably may amount up to 20% of your GGR. So if you earned 100 euros from your operations, means that before you think about everything else, you have to give away 20, maybe in some cases to 25% of your this earning to platform providers. In case your white label solution consists not only of casino but also of, for example, sport book, you must account for maybe closer to 25% of GGR. In case it's a casino only, it may depend on the number of models that you offer it, but it's a kind of expensive. So 20-25% of GGR will go for as a royalty fee for usage of this platform. All right, so you have to 50,000 euro, from 15 to 50,000 euro upfront, and then 20-25% in case of white hat label. In case in case of white label, in case of turnkey solution or things that you want to choose, if you already have your company, your license and so on, it may be less. For example, the setup fee may be about 5,000, 5 to 10,000, depending on what you want to have. Maybe closer to 5 10,000, and your GGR maybe the royalty fee may be closer to 18% of your GGR. So you will actually the difference is in the setup fee, which is much more lower in case of turnkey solution when you make your company yourself, apply for license yourself, and in the percentage of GGR, which can be up to 25 in case of white label, and probably closer to 18% in case of turnkey solution. So finally, let's consider what is the cost of getting a license and setting up a company in Curacao, for example. So if you go for Curacao, you might want to plan for 15-20,000 euros to get it going. It means payment for application, for a yearly license, means setting up a company and paying for legal fees, probably closer to 20,000 euros altogether, and it may take some time, probably 8 to 20 weeks. So it's 2-3 months before you get it going. But after that, you will have your own specialist who would go together with probably your legal counsel on the part of platform provider, and set up payment solutions with every particular payment provider. But in this case, you will have a company of your own and risk of your own, and you can build from here. So this is actually maybe the first look of how to start up casino operations. So what we discussed is that you have two principal roads to go: is white label solution, or white or turnkey solution. It means that in either of these cases you will go for software as a service. You will actually rent software that has already been developed, and in exchange for renting this software you will pay a percentage of your sales. This is GGR, or gross gaming revenue. So the percentage of your sales will go as a royalty fee for this software as a service, which is normally called platform. So whenever you choose your white label platform or your turnkey casino platform, you will pay from 18 to 25% of your sales as a revenue or as a royalty for using this service. Maybe less depending on the models that you pick, but in most of the cases, Whitehead solution goes packed with models, and it goes not negotiable. So everything is pre-packed and is out of the box. So you just unpack and go. And in the case of turnkey, you can choose some models you can leave and so on. Whitehead solution is good for those who treasure time to money. So if you have doubts that you will be able to wait for something, maybe something happens and the process will take more time, and also you don't want to mess with legal things and so on. You don't want to set up your company, you want to just try the water. So maybe Whitehead solution is white label solution. I always steal Whitehead, I don't know it. So maybe white label solution is good for you just to try, and once it goes fine, on the next year you want to set up a company of your own, apply for license of your own, and just switch from Whitehead to normal business for turnkey and so on and so on. So this is it's a normal business. It's a normal way to go. I mean, white label. You can have quite decent selection of platform that offer good services here, and in either case you have to decide which license you want to have. So it means you want to choose from Curacao, Malta, probably Isle of Man. I've discussed some strong things and some drawbacks of each license, starting from the cost of license, cost of doing business, cost of incorporating a company, and also the options that a license would actually permit. So it means what kind of customers or kind of players do you want to target, will you be able to target, and so on and so on. So once you decided whether Whitehead or turnkey, which kind of license you have, you may also want to make a small team for start of a casino. Each consists of director, analyst, or CRM manager, and anti-fraud official, and also after that you go to have a full-fledged marketing team. As I discussed in a separate video, you can have a look. And also I predicted the budget for running this small casino. So for starting this small casino, it's may range from up to 50,000 euro sign-up fee in case of Malta, for example, Malta white label, and also up to 25% 20-25% GGR, or in the case of Curacao and less expensive turnkey solution, it may be 5,000 euro of upfront fee and up to 18% of your sales as a payment for your royalty. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or like you to submit your comments, I welcome you to do so. Thanks. Bye.